Hello, we are the Erasmus project team from Croatia, and this is our first podcast episode. Our podcast is called Podcast, and our main idea is that every episode we would analyze different famous podcasts, the speakers on them, their ideology, and how they influence their fans. The first episode is called Andrew Tate and the Manosphere, and we will be analyzing Andrew Tate's podcast and how he influences young people, mostly young boys, and how that influences their choices later on in life or now.
Well, first of all, I want to tell something about Andrew Tate, who he is. He actually got famous for professional kickboxing, and he was a world champion. He started his online academy called Hustlers University, and he described as community where you will have access to stock analysis, option plays, crypto analysis, e-commerce, copywriting, freelancing, and a lot of other things. And the main idea of the academy is to teach people how to get rich fast from the side hustles.
Such a wonderful idea this academy is, isn't it? It's selling political spectrum in a box. It's selling this easy get rich quick. It's easy, hey, become a man, become an alpha like me. Look at me, I'm so wonderful, you can be like me. It's so nice, and it gets young men so trapped inside of that idea of look at me, look at what I have to be successful. His views on women, his views on anyone who's not the hustle culture man are just that they're not worth enough, that they're not worth less. Like if you're spending time with a woman but you're not getting laid, what are you doing? You're just wasting time. It's not viewing women as people. And this is what young men are being taught, and how this relates to careers is detrimental. How this relates to society is huge. And we've seen examples of this very closely. It's just this dream of men still being on top. It's just this dream of men being the best. And it's really, really powerful in today's society.
I think the main problem is that Andrew Tate has a lot of fans, and he just gets them by the idea of getting rich, and then he sells them the ideology of men being in charge, and I don't know, that's really, it's really hard to get out of that mindset once you get into it.
Yeah, his whole brand is based on it. It's mostly based on making money outside of traditional employment, like get rich quick.
Yeah.
And it really relates to the ideas of patriarchy and repression of women. And he also calls himself a self-labeled sexist and misogynist. He's unapologetic about his views that the women should stay in the kitchen, and that men are the best and they deserve rights and women don't because they are less. And he really caters to the young white male audience because he presents those ideas in a really romanticized and sensationalized view. But at the end of the day, it's pretty superficial. They follow the main ideas that cater to them, and then they base their identities and personalities on it without looking at the bigger picture. Because Andrew Tate is he presents to be really successful, but currently he's in prison. Lost Hustler University was a scam. He got rich off sex trafficking and a ploy. It's not not something that will have like he doesn't have a base. He's very superficial about it.
But it's all intentional, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
he
all
says it
intentional.
himself, like he wants 60-70% of fans and 30-40% of haters.
Yeah, because that's the way to manipulate the algorithms of social medias to get a better and more audience. Because haters are gonna comment on every single video, and the algorithm will not read the comment, but just see that the comment was there, and it's gonna play it to more people.
Yeah, and then he just seems more successful than he actually is.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's quite insane how deep the indoctrination goes. Like even after the cases came out, that he's a sex trafficker, that he's a rapist, which like still has such a huge support, still has such a huge fan base, is so loyal to him.
Because he's selling a dream to young men who not really educated about the real world. Like he's selling that dream to teenagers who are still building their personalities, and they like the dream and the idea of being rich and doing it fast, and they don't care about anything else, and they act like he tells them to.
Yeah, and it's not sustainable for them. There's not really a way to get rich fast on something that doesn't have a base. They will ditch like high school, they will not go to college because after taking go to college and choose a karate, but they will not choose like careers, they will not plan their futures, they will not find like people who are there for them because they love them. They're searching for ideals that are not
They're not possible.
yeah.
How this one man scam is affecting almost globally the like views of young men and their career choices as well. Like they will not go into something that's more standard, that's more common. They will not want to live maybe not like a super rich life. Like you're gonna want to obtain those resources because without those resources you're not worth as a man. In his eyes and in the patriarch's eyes, if you don't attain large amount of resources, then what is your worth? What is your worth as a person, as a man, as a provider?
And it's the difference between, like you could have lots of resources, but he also looks at the way you get them. It's not
Yeah,
right
if
for
you're
you.
doing if you're doing the regular job, he's not gonna respect you.
Yeah, and if you're doing like a stereotypical woman, like a woman's job, if you're a nurse, not a doctor, and you still have resources, it's not good enough because you're not good enough for a man, because you're not doing a man profession.
It's quite, let's call it what it is, it's a cult, right? Like we're talking about it as some sort of idea floating around, but the following that he's amassed and the loyalty that his fans have, it's more of a cult, and you have to follow the cult's teachings. And we've seen there was a video circling around of a high schooler standing up to his teacher and going like, I'm the alpha now, you will not make the rules, I am the alpha, I will not make the rules. It's like, this is poison. This is poison to youth, this is poison to society. And we're going to see at some point, he's not the only one. He's not the only one. There's Joe Rogan, there's Nico, and they're now reaping the so-called benefits, quote unquote, of their teachings, with young men approaching them in fan meetups and going like, I hate women, look at me, like, and this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt quite a lot when people realize it's actually happening. How instead of our society becoming more progressive, we're backtracking.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah, we are backtracking because of those if I can call them influencers. I mean, we almost got the equality of the man and woman, and now a lot of men are like, no, woman has to do woman's job, she cannot be a doctor, she cannot be successful, and only men can bring like income to the house. and we just got out of there.
Yeah.
It's the whole idea, it's the whole patriarchal dream of the man being the provider. Because then the woman can't make her own choices. And you're saying, oh, why are divorce rates going up? They're not going up for some random reason. They're going up because women can actually now leave their husbands because they can afford to do stuff. Like they can have a job, they can have a bank account, which wasn't the case 50, 100 years ago. Like now that we're getting towards this point of, oh, women can be independent without men, we're seeing women choose to go into career paths, we're seeing men choose to be, women choose to be without men. And that's why this is so important, selling this idea of like, look, you can get a subservient woman like this. Look, this is what you need to do to get a partner and to have a happy and successful life. And it has nothing to do with working with yourself, it has nothing to do with your emotions. It only has to do with capitalism.
Yeah, and he's also selling the false dream in the sense that in today's economy, it's really hard to have like a one-income household. It's almost impossible. But how can if you can live like that, but your wife shouldn't be working? It's also
It's impossible.
Yeah.
That's why it's ideology, because nobody can actually make it there. If you want to have a happy family and happy life, the man and woman needs to be working.
Yeah, and he has a very similar idea of success. I think his only success is like how much of money you have, how much of resources and stuff like that you have. Success to him is not, he doesn't look at it in a way. He wants a happy family, he wants happy children, he wants an education, he wants, I don't know, arts and culture and stuff like that. It's only money, it's only a nice apartment, it's only a very expensive car.
And the woman who will actually listen to you and do what you say. And that's not possible in this time.
Selling the patriarchal capitalist dream.
Yeah, he wants a performance. His life should be a performance, and that's what he thinks everybody's life should be performance, because he thinks that it's the only way you're doing something in your life.
So I think that we actually said everything we have to say about her. And I just want to say that this ideology influences young people the most in actually choosing their path in life and choosing their careers, because they will want to have the careers with fast income, and a lot of income, and they're not going to go to some standards jobs, like, I don't know how to say that.
They do not have like an office job.
Yeah, like the office job that is really important for our economy. They're just gonna ditch that and do some hustles, and that's it. They don't want to work anymore.
How are office jobs important for our economy?
Because and if office job is happening all the administrations, and I think it is important. How can you live without, I don't know, you cannot live without a doctor, and people are not gonna become a doctor because you need to work for that, and it's not easy, and it's not fast money.
You know, we were talking about office jobs, like from the 1970s, there's this idea that we're going to work less and less hours as we can automate more and more jobs, like especially the service industry jobs. And there was this idea that we're going towards a society with a universal basic income, that we're going to, be doing quite less manual labor in times, and in 2023 we're working more man hours than person hours than ever. So
So
yeah.
you think it's a good idea to just ditch the office jobs and
I think
stuff
most
like
jobs
that and
are.
go to the hospital?
I think most jobs are created just for controlling people, so that they have something to do in their 40-hour week, so that they like most jobs are just made up. They're made up. They don't serve much of a purpose.
Made everything up. I mean, bureaucracy is like dumb, it's boring, but it's
Yeah.
everything. It's like the foundation of everything. The centers, the youth centers that got us here. It's you wouldn't call that an office job, but I mean they also have bureaucracy. Everybody has. It's all the I don't know. I don't think.
Let's say you're at night watching. What are you? You're watching some, I don't know, mall or something every night. What is your life? You're not even awake during the day. You're not even living. You're just guarding someone else's billionaire's property. Not billionaires, but you know.
It's a job that's well now that's like a critic of capitalism, but also if there's a space, someone has to guard it because they don't want property damage. It is your job. Like the guard works at night.
But why don't the rich have jobs then?
Well, if we're going to go like that, then office jobs are the jobs that like keep everything
In order.
working. The rich people's jobs, I don't know what Jeff Bezos does.
Nothing
He's a
really.
rich person.
But he built his way up through working.
Really? You think that rich people work the most?
I wouldn't say they work the most, but maybe he's just like lucky and took the right opportunity.
Right opportunity to, like, how do you make $1 billion?
To exploit you exploit other people.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that you can amass that amount of money without exploitation. And as long as there's exploitation, there's injustice. So like, why are we talking like, oh,
There always gonna be injustice.
that's not an argument to not fight injustice. Like, what's the point then if we're saying like, oh, these like jobs are very important, like we should be living in this kind of way, and anti-trade fits this perfectly, as he's selling again the idea of capitalism, just in a different way. It's like, oh, escape the common grind, escape the 9 to 5, but you're selling something else that's the same thing. It's the same focus on money, the same focus on being better than other people. It's not a way to live a good life. It's a way to just want to be dominant towards other people. It's capitalism. The only thing it amasses is for one person to get rich. A lot of people have to be poor. A lot of
So
people.
what is your suggestion? Why should people do that?
What do you think?
I asked you because you are the one telling them the office job is not important. Then what should people do?
I think we'll leave this for the next episode.
Yeah.